1 million years ago, our ancestors stood on the brink of extinction. The world was a vast, frozen battlefield. Predators were relentless. Food was a desperate gamble. But in the crushing darkness of the Ice Age, a new power ignited. A weapon that would change everything. Fire. With fire came warmth against the biting cold. With fire came light to push back the endless night. And with fire, humanity became something more than just prey. They became tribes. They became a force of nature. Imagine it, a storm-swept plain, a flash of lightning, and a tree explodes into flame. A small band of our ancestors huddled together, terrified, but mesmerized by the dancing light, seeing a reflection of their own future burning in the sparks. This was the dawn of a harsh new world. The Ice Age was tightening its grip, sculpting mountains with colossal glaciers and sweeping continents with freezing winds. But scattered across Africa, Asia, and even parts of Europe, a new kind of human endured. Homo erectus. Taller, stronger, and smarter than any who came before them, they pushed into territories their ancestors never dared to dream of. But this expansion wasn't a triumphant march. It was a brutal struggle. Every meal was a risk, either hunted or scavenged from the kills of more powerful beasts. Every night was a gamble with death, a desperate hope to see the sunrise. The world was a graveyard of giants, where mammoths trudged through snow, and our ancestors, little more than shadows, darted in to steal scraps while vultures circled overhead. And then humanity tamed the flame. At first, it was a gift stolen from nature's fury, from lightning-struck trees or the slow, creeping lava of volcanic eruptions. They guarded these embers, these precious sparks of life. But soon, a revolutionary discovery was made. They learned to create it themselves. The sharp crack of flint against stone, a shower of sparks, and a pile of dry tinder bursting into life. Fire wasn't just a tool, it was a revolution. It drove away the saber-tooths and giant hyenas that hunted them in the dark. It cooked their food, unlocking precious nutrients and making it safer to eat. It stretched the short, terrifying hours of the day into long, safe nights filled with security, storytelling, and shared memory. Fire wasn't just about survival anymore. Fire was the spark of civilization. With fire came a new kind of courage. And with that courage, they transformed from scavengers into hunters. Stone hand axes became sharper, more deadly. They learned to lash those stones to wood, creating spears that could strike from a distance. For the first time, our ancestors didn't just wait for leftovers. They took the initiative. Tribes began to hunt in organized, strategic packs. They used their intelligence, coordinating their attacks. They learned to use fire and noise to drive massive herds of bison into ravines, or ambush wild horses at watering holes. Even the titans of this age, the woolly rhinos and the colossal mammoths, began to fall, not to brute strength, but to human unity and strategy. For the first time in history, humans were beginning to rule, not with muscle alone, but with their minds. But fire did not make them invincible. The wild world fought back. Saber-toothed cats, with fangs like daggers, still lurked in the shadows just beyond the firelight. Dire wolves, larger and more ferocious than any wolf today, stalked the edges of their camps, their eyes glowing in the darkness. Gigantic cave hyenas, with jaws powerful enough to crush bone, waited patiently for the moment the flames grew dim. Imagine a tribe, deep in slumber, their protective fire dwindling to mere embers. Suddenly, the camp erupts. A pack of wolves charges in, a whirlwind of fur and teeth. Screams pierce the night. Men and women grab their spears, their torches, fighting for their lives. They manage to rekindle the flames, driving the beasts back into the darkness. The wolves scatter, but not before lives are torn away. In this unforgiving age, survival meant constant vigilance. The line between life and death was only as strong as the fire's glow. Yet, fire gave them something far more profound than just warmth and safety. It created a center, a gathering place. Around the crackling flames, tribes began to share their food, ensuring the survival of the group, not just the individual. They shared stories, passing down knowledge of hunts, of dangers, of seasons. They shared memories. From these fireside gatherings rose the first whispers of complex language, the grunts and calls slowly evolving into a shared system of communication. From these fires rose alliances, as families bonded together into tribes, realizing their strength in numbers. Alone, a single human was fragile prey. But together, as a tribe, they were a predator unlike any the earth had ever seen. Look closely at those faces lit by the flames, an elder gesturing, telling a story, and the young ones listening, learning, remembering. This is where we truly began. Picture this. Dawn breaks over the frozen steppe. The tribe moves as one. Spears are ready. Torches, carrying the precious flame, are held high. Ahead of them, a herd of mammoths, their shaggy coats glistening with frost. The signal is given. The tribe erupts in a cacophony of shouts, screams, and the terrifying crackle of fire. The giant beasts panic, stampeding in confusion. But one great bull turns, enraged, its massive tusks swinging like scythes. A hunter is caught, crushed beneath its immense weight. But the tribe does not break. They press the attack. Spears rain down. Torches are thrust against its thick, shaggy coat. With one final, earth-shaking roar, the behemoth collapses. The hunt is over. That night, the tribe feasts, their bellies full, their spirits high. With every hard-won victory like this, humanity took one more step towards dominating the planet. But this newfound power came with a terrible cost. The greatest threats were no longer just the beasts that lurked in the darkness. As tribes grew, so did competition. They fought each other over the best hunting grounds, over access to fresh water, over territory. The same sharpened stone axes that could bring down a deer could also shatter a human skull. For the first time in our long history, humanity's greatest enemy was not only the predator outside the firelight, but the rival tribe across the valley, their own fires burning in the distance. At dawn, two tribes clash, their war cries echoing across the landscape. Spears and axes meet in a brutal, desperate struggle, the firelight flickering across faces smeared with dirt and blood. This was life 1 million years ago, an age of fire, the age that saw the rise of the first tribes. In the warm glow of the flames, they learned to conquer their fear. In the protective circle of the tribe, they discovered a strength they never knew they had. They were not yet us, not Homo sapiens. But the path was set. From fire came survival. From survival came society. And from the seed of that society, civilization itself would one day blossom. The incredible story of humanity, our story, had only just begun. And it all started with a single spark of fire. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you found this story of our ancestors as fascinating as we do, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the epic history of humankind. We'll see you in the next one.